Hello, my name's Rob, part of the clergy team here in Portishead Church of England, and welcome to this week's Thought. One of the things that I appreciate doing most in my ministry is baptisms, and usually that means baptizing a small child or a baby. And often families coming to baptism have some knowledge and understanding of the Christian faith, but they are to a large degree coming in as outsiders, and baptism gives such a wonderful opportunity to talk about what the Christian faith is. It's rich in imagery and symbolism. It says something so important about what the gospel is, about how we need to come to be welcomed into the church, how we need to be, how the spiritual life is like water, which gives us life, and we need to be rooted and grounded in Jesus. But sometimes we also get the opportunity to baptize people who are a little bit older, and every now and then one of those people who's a bit older, be they an older child or an adult, says that they'd like to be baptized in the sea. And so over the time I've been here, perhaps I think 3 times, we've had the opportunity of baptizing older children or adults in the waters of the where the estuary meets the channel down on Sugarloaf Bay, which has been fantastic. And it says something even more, not just about baptism, but about what it is to be a Christian. And so it's in the light of that we come to the passage from the Gospels that's set for this Thursday. I'm going to read you that passage. And here Jesus talks about baptism, but talks about it in a slightly different way. So this is from Luke chapter 12, verses 49 to 53. Jesus says, "I came to bring fire to the earth, and how I wish it were already kindled. I have a baptism with which to be baptized, and what stress I am under until it is completed. Do you think that I have come to bring peace to the earth? No, I tell you, but rather division. From now on, 5 in one household will be divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. They will be divided, father against son, and son against father, mother against daughter, and daughter against mother, mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and daughter-in-law against mother-in-law." What a strange and troubling passage. And so often when we think about baptism, we think about family events, events that will bring families together. And here Jesus is talking about families being torn apart. But he's also talking about baptism in a very different way to what we may think of when we think about a small child having water poured over their heads. And what he's talking about as baptism is probably more helpful to understand when we think about somebody being submerged in the waters of the Bristol Channel, because actually literally the word baptism means to be submerged, to sink, and there's something about the power in the imagery of a baptism by submersion when we come and say, yes, this faith in Jesus Christ is a faith of my own, which is richer and more challenging, but also more helpful. Because that image of somebody being submerged, of going down into the water, is a picture of death. And the coming up out of the water, a picture of resurrection, of new life. And it reminds us that at the heart of the Christian faith is this image of death and of resurrection. Jesus invites us, he says, if you want to follow me, if you want to be my disciple, you must take up your cross. He's saying that not only are we looking to the day when we will die and rise again in his presence, but also that actually every day as a Christian is about dying to the things that separate us from God and rising to the things that draw us closer to him, living the resurrection life, if you like. But it's a reminder to us that the Christian life is a challenge. It's not easy. Jesus, when he's talking about his baptism here, he says there is a baptism that I must be baptized with. He's looking forward to his own death. He's looking forward to that point when he will die on the cross. And not only is he saying, look, this is something that I need to do for you, but he's saying this is something that is a part of the life of every Christian. Now, I've just been reading about the church in Germany in the 1930s, at the time when Hitler came to power. And that was a time when a rather complacent church suddenly got confronted with some really, really difficult truths. Here was a leader trying to take his country towards evil. And the church had to say, are we going to stand up against this? And some of them did. Some of them did, but many of them didn't. We live in a world in turmoil and crisis. We face challenges of all sorts. We face wars in different parts of the world. We face climate change across the world. We face a crisis in cost of living. And like the church in Germany, we just don't know when really difficult times will come. And we need to respond to that question. Jesus is almost saying to us, are you in or are you out? Are you part of this or are you not part of this? I think within the next few years, the church is going to have to make some really difficult and challenging decisions. And we as individuals who look to follow Christ need to ask, well, where am I in that? Am I prepared to take the difficult decisions? Am I prepared to say, no, I'm for Jesus, but against this which stands opposed to him? We need to be willing to say, actually, I believe that Jesus comes to bring life, and I want to be a part of that with him. Challenging words to the church. Jesus' invitation to follow him, but a recognition that that's not always going to be easy.